Live, ESPN Baton Rouge.
From the Jamborees to the Superdome,
Your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Our cast of thousands behind the scenes, Grant Lanero on audio, Casey Gaines on video, and Skip Cottrell is handling scores. You'll hear some highlights, scores from around the state throughout the night. A full scoreboard on the ticker on the bottom of the screen throughout the night. We welcome in our audience from Your View following game time on Your View tonight that saw East Ascension get a must-needed win over Denham Springs. And if you were listening on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, Catholic High got the win over Woodlawn. As we get started tonight, let's get things cranked up with our opening drive.
Taking you through tonight's top stories, this is Opening Drive on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
A lot of teams undefeated and more importantly, just trying to continue to make good pace as they get into the back half of the season, collecting and calculating PowerPoints, looking forward to the postseason. But some teams don't quite make it all the way with a 0 in the loss column, and that would be the case for Santa Ma. A nice, very nice win for the Griffins of Dutchtown. They defeat Santa Ma tonight, giving them their first loss of the season. And defense continues to play a strong role for the Griffins.
They're giving up 8.8 points per game so far this year, and Santa Ma came in and they put a lot of pressure on Babin, the quarterback for Santa Ma. I mean, at times it looked like the offensive line for Santa Ma wasn't even there. A lot of pressure, kept him on the move, did a great job against the running game, and just to sum it up, the defensive line and the offensive line really took over the whole game, but the offensive line started getting stronger and stronger as the game went on. I thought Ethan Oquin had a really good game, throwing the ball as well as running the ball, and so did Gary Dukes as well offensively. But I tell y'all what, Carter Hanbury does not get the credit he deserves on defense. They put him on offense in their TKO package, and he runs just as good as he plays defense. But, you know, if there's a school out there looking for a guy that's going to sell out every play and do exactly what he's supposed to do, you're missing out on a good kid with Hanbury for Dutchtown. He was a big Coach Mistretta worries about leadership there, but he's not very vocal, but his play is very leadership-like.
And he's a guy that Coach Mistretta's been high on for the last couple of years. He said last year you had some really good players. The Burrell kid last year I thought was AK was a good leader. But I can remember going to a game at Live Oak. I think it may have been against Denham Springs maybe actually on a Thursday night over there. And he just raved about the Hanbury kid. He played that game with a broken hand and was having surgery the next day. And he said he's just a football player. And here they are lining him up all over the field doing different things with him now. He may play at cornerback, may play at linebacker, may play at strong safety. He's just a football player. And you hear these college coaches that they'll go look at him and say, well, he don't pass eye test. Watch the film. Watch the film.
He's never out of position, makes open field tackles. Just I know I look forward to talking to Coach Mistretta about him for sure.
Out in the Lafayette area, you had St. Thomas More surviving and continuing to remain undefeated with a 1-point win over a very good Teurlings Catholic football team. Acadiana bounces back after a tough one last week, and they put up a lot of points against Southside. So Acadiana football still pretty good in that area.
Another game that just went final that turned into a flat-out shootout. I think the best games in the state were in the Acadiana area, But Karen Crow holds on to against Sam Houston. Karen Crow going in with 7-0, Sam Houston 6-1. Karen Crow comes out 49-47. So that's a tough one for Coach Davis and his group. But man, it kind of shows you the direction that his program's going in. When you look at Karen Crow, Chance Babineau, the quarterback, he's a sophomore, and I don't know what his stats were tonight yet. We'll get those later on. But last year, he sets the single-season record for Karen Crow in receiving with 972 yards. He sets the single-season passing record for yardage last week. He was one touchdown shy tonight of setting the touchdown passing record with 25, and he's only a sophomore.
And
a great baseball player, too.
The other one in Acadiana is Turlings Catholic and St. Thomas More. You talked about it being the better games in the area.
Yeah, 35-34. Turlings trailed for the whole game until like a minute or so left. St. Thomas More gets the win to stay undefeated. Cecilia Opelousas in that area. That was pretty much for the district championship. 25-22. The quarterback, Diesel Solario, who's been just absolutely phenomenal running and throwing the football. He tore his ACL, if you remember that from last year. He gets the interception. They move him to the defensive back late in the game. He gets a pick, and just a great win for those guys.
Shout out to Mr. Patrick Coogan. Look, how about that? People are watching this. There's got to be more to do on Friday night than look at me, Patrick.
Look,
we appreciate Patrick Coogan.
Of course.
We can tell Melissa he's fixing to get a call, have his phone ready.
Well, no, we already have, and that's what we've got. We're confirmed on that.
Look, Sam Houston's going to give some teams problems in this postseason, the way they're playing.
They're scoring points.
Yeah.
They're scoring points. One game I haven't seen tonight, anything from staying kind of in that Acadiana area, is Lafayette Christian and Westgate 6-1 against 5-2. The thing with Westgate is they're playing without their quarterback, Jabari Antoine, who's maybe the best athlete in the state. I think he's a Texas or Texas A&M commit.
Is that Coach Antoine's son?
I don't know. I'm not sure. He's only a junior, but the thing is, 3 weeks ago, they played Calvary. He suffered a shoulder injury, I think it was. He's out for the year. Mm-hmm. And then in the last two games, they've only scored 14 and 19 points without him. So I kind of look for LCA to roll in this one.
I have Lafayette Christian up in the fourth, 49-11.
Yeah.
Let's get you caught up on a couple of scores. We'll go around the state, but right now in this segment here in the present, we'll start with the Capital City.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
East Ascension up on Denham Springs 24-10. Dutchtown defeats Sandoval 31-7. Walker over Live Oak 41-9. Assumption defeats Lutcher 14-10. Zachary over Central 35-28. McKinley 44, Bruley 19. Dunham over East Feliciana 49-22. And Catholic Point Competed 36, St. Edmund 20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Brother Martin over Rummel 21-16. Edna Carr 47, Holy Cross 17. Central Catholic 29-8 winner over Hanson Memorial. Hanville shuts out H.L. Bourgeois 28-0. John Curtis and St. Aug will be tomorrow at 2:30. Terrebonne over East St. John 21-18. St. Louis Catholic defeats South Lafourche 21-14. And St. James 55, Donaldsonville 24.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Loreauville defeats Ascension Episcopal 30-9. Carencro over Sam Houston 49-47. Acadiana defeats Southside 45-12. St. Thomas More over Turlings Catholic 35-34. Lafayette Christian and Westgate are still in progress. Oberlin 59, Elton 16. Kaplan a 36-32 winner over St. Martinville. And Iowa 36, Lake Charles College Prep 22.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Gina over Bunkie 38-22. Calvary blanks Dearborn Woods Charter 35-0. West Monroe over Ouachita 31-21. Neville defeats Tioga 44-13. Ruston over West Ouachita 48-6. Mangum and Faraday are still in progress. General Trask 43, Vidalia 14, and Franklin Parish and Carroll tomorrow at 2.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Slidell's a 33-19 winner over Covington. North Shore defeats Hammond 14-0. Kentwood over Slaughter 47-13. Lakeshore over Pearl River 41-6. St. Thomas Aquinas defeats North Lake Christian 20-8. Hope John Paul 36, Independence 30. St. Paul's a 28-18 winner over Mandeville, and St. Helena and Springfield still in progress.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
His name was Cain. He had a horse. Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, Kate Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. And when you get a win, you get a little Jimmy Buffett. Coach Scott Mistretta joins us now as his Griffins get the win over Santa Maria tonight. A very strong performance. Coach, congratulations. Thanks for a couple of minutes.
Thank you, and thanks for Buffett.
Look,
we knew you like that.
Look, man. I think sometimes, I don't know if you deferred or they just accepted the ball, but at the end of the half, you score there 7-0, and you take the drive coming out in the second half, and it was just a really well-played game by your team, man. I thought all the way around, but you win 31-7. That's got to be a big win for your team.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It really is. Felt like this was our best performance so far this year, and you're right. The drive to end the first half and then to open up the second half, I thought on both sides of the ball up front, we kind of took control. And, you can go back as long as you want in football. That's it comes down to that at the end.
So I have to give a shout out because I know sometimes you want to pull your hair out but I thought Ethan really made some good throws at some crucial times of the game. And, this has been a long time. He's been really working hard. He ran the ball really well, but he's really become a dual threat for your offense.
Yeah, he has. He's can't say enough about him. Last week I thought was his best game by far over the last couple of years, and he gained a lot of confidence from that, which sometimes when that happens, you're concerned maybe they'll try to do too much in the next game. I thought he handled himself well. He played within himself and within what we were asking him to do, and he's really becoming a leader.
Coach, before I forget, I just got a text from one of your former players, Kyle Abear, said to tell you hello.
Hot dog.
Sure did. So that's always good
awesome.
That's always good to get those kind of messages. I'm gonna beat Todd to the punch, but we were talking about this kid in the first segment before we went on. But Carter Hanbury, I know last year you and I talked about him out on the field at Live Oak, and you just raved about him. Had the broken hand, getting surgery the next day, and he's all over the field now. He's playing some in running back in one of your packages. Todd called it. What was it, Todd? TKO package. He may play corner, he may play strong safety, he may play linebacker, and we just described him as he's just a football player. Talk about him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an old school football player, man. He really is. Tough as nails. And on top of that, he carries a 4.5 GPA. He's committed to Southeastern right now, and just a bright future for that young man. He's that type of guy we all look for, right? We all want those type of guys in our program. And he's not a real vocal leader, but he's the dude, right? Everybody knows it. Everybody follows him. You're right. Last year he broke his hand in this game against Santa Maria. We didn't know anything about it until the next morning. He showed up with an ice pack, and did that happen at the end of the game? No, it happened in the opening kickoff, and did not tell a soul. Played the whole game, played well, and then played the next game with a club because the surgery wasn't until Saturday morning. So just and came back 2 weeks later in the playoffs. Just an awesome kid, and everything you look for, like I said, in a football player.
The way he finishes a tackle is I mean, he ain't going to just lay you on the ground, brother. He is going, he's finishing it.
Yeah, he's very, very physical. But he's really good in the passing game. And it's deceptive, and he's come up with a few interceptions already this year. And he's a total package, man. We love him to death.
So altogether, since we're talking about defense, well, let's go ahead and Coach Harrell's doing a great job, 8.8 points a game coming into it, and they continue to play good. The defensive line really, really looked good, strong tonight. And, of course, anytime that happens, it helps everything else fall in place.
Yeah, so our defensive line, we came into the season expected those guys to be the anchor of the defense, and they are, but they haven't been playing up to their standards. They know that. They agree with us, and tonight they did. Tonight was the first time they kind of had that they're coming out. So hopefully they can build on that and keep going forward, because any success we have come playoff time is going to be starts with those guys up front.
Coach, talk about Chase Cangelosi, your big offensive lineman, 6'5", 290.
Yeah, man, big old guy. Last year going into the season, we kind of felt like that was our liability. We were really concerned about who was going to be the center, and Chase was won the job, but we really didn't know how he was going to compete. And about the third game of the year, Coach Bucky grabbed me after the game. He said, "Man, big 64 is getting better and better." Of course, Coach Dad only watches the offensive line when he comes to the game, right? So he had really been paying attention, and I told the other coaches, and they, man, we looked a little closer, and he, by the end of last year, was a heck of a player for us, and now he's the leader of that group. It's just awesome to see when young guys come on and find themselves, right?
It's and he's just not finding himself, but that whole offensive line. But understand, I mean, he's the leader of it, and up the middle tonight. I just really thought the game plan was good, and when they started putting too many people in there, they went over the top. But look, Santa Ma's a good football team, and Coach Oliver will have them ready to finish. And when you put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, it doesn't make him very comfortable back there, and that's what Dutchtown was able to do tonight.
And I'm telling you, that young quarterback he's something, man.
Yep.
He's over the next couple of years, he's going to be something else. He really is.
And we got to remember, he's talking about Cooper Babin for Santa Maria. This is only his third game back after he went down with an injury on the third play of the season. So, but Todd and I were talking about this game. The score may have surprised, but we'd kind of talked. We thought Dutchtown was more physical than what Santa Maria was. We thought they could run the football on, and that we thought their defense was the better defense, and it proved it tonight. Guy, you went through a weird situation earlier in the year. I think you start off 3-0. You have an open date, then you have a forfeit, and I don't want to take nothing away from Walker, obviously, but that game there, if you've played all your other games, you probably win that game and you're sitting undefeated. But what did you do during 21 days off?
Well,
besides go to Bay St. Louis.
First, I wish. Wouldn't that be nice? No. But first of all, Walker absolutely deserved to win that game. They made the plays. We really made too many mistakes in that ball game. We had an early lead and gave it up because of a lot of mistakes that we were making, and they took advantage of them. And those guys have only grown and playing even better now since then. But to answer your question, we had a scheduled bye date, which we went our normal bye schedule, which you guys been a part of in the past. We practiced Monday through Thursday, work out Friday morning, give the guys a 3-day weekend. But then Carver had to forfeit their season. So that following week, we came back and we had to get more situational speed of the game type stuff that we always do a couple periods a day. We added to that. We practiced Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We felt like we really did a good job under circumstances. I mean, we didn't have anything to lean on knowing how to do it, but we felt like we did a good job of it. And we opened up the game against Walker playing really well. We had a lead at halftime and felt pretty good about ourselves. So I don't know. It's hard to calculate, whether we did it, whether we would change it or not. That's going to come in the off season. Certainly something we're going to look at.
So rumor had it, though, you were offered a six-figure contract for a scrimmage from Westside, and you turned it down.
Of course he did.
I mean, a scrimmage, I don't mind scrimmaging them guys, but a regular season game, no way.
I'm waiting on their score tonight. I haven't heard it yet.
Well, does the score matter? You know who won.
Oh, I know who won. And look, I saw Big Grayson and Bouncing Chris up at Zachary tonight, and Grayson was on you, man. I'm going to tell you, he was on you tonight.
Sam Malone.
Hey, man, congratulations.
Yep.
Great win for Coach Janice and Coach Harrell and, of course, you and the rest of your coaches, and a big win for Dutchtown. And now you've got 2 games to finish off the season in the right way, and keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, guys. Proud of the kids, but also proud of the staff. Thanks a lot for all y'all do, man.
Thank you, Guy.
All right, guys.
I'll tell you a quick funny story about so Carter has a little brother, Cam, who plays the same position, same number on the 9th grade team. And so he was just having trouble, like, keeping his shoulders square. And I said, dude, there's somebody in your household that does this pretty good. Why don't you go talk to him? He just kind of looks at me. He's a quiet kid, but, boy, he'll come up and bust you, man.
When Guy raves about a kid like that, because that's just not what Guy does, But when he raves about one like that, you listen to him, and you believe what he's telling you. He can play.
We got more scores coming your way from Acadiana, North Louisiana, North Shore, and down on the Bayou as well, and more conversations with Victoria's head coaches like Coach Guy Mistretta. If you missed anything tonight, don't forget you can find it on 1045ESPN.com or wherever you download podcasts. That is the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard podcast. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back here to the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a trampoline injury?
We don't have time for this today.
We're here with online check-in so you can wait from anywhere. Plus, on-site digital x-rays. If you don't have time to be hurt, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there in the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor, so you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast? All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front to back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Terrier, the Tiger, and the Wildcat. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Efforting a couple of head coaches right now, and hopefully we will connect with someone here in this segment. But first, let's get you caught up on the scores, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
East Ascension over Denham Springs, 24-10. Dutchtown over Santa Maria, 31-7. Walker defeats Live Oak, 41-9. Assumption over Lutcher, 14-10. Zachary, a 35-28 winner over Central. McKinley's a 44-19 winner over Brew. Dunham over East Feliciana, 49-22. And Catholic Point Capede, 36. St. Edmund, 20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Brother Martin over Rummel, 21-16. Edna Carr, 47. Holy Cross, 17. Central Catholic over Hanson Memorial, 29-8. Hunville blanks H.L. Bourgeois, 28-0. John Curtis and St. Aug will be tomorrow at 2:30. Terrebonne, 21. East St. John, 18. St. Louis Catholic, 21. South Lafourche, 14. St. James, 55. Donaldsonville, 24.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Lowerville over Ascension Episcopal, 30-9. Carencro over Sam Houston, 49-47. Acadiana defeats Southside, 45-12. St. Thomas More over Turlings Catholic, 35-34. Lafayette Christian over Westgate, 49-11. Oberlin, 59. Elton, 16. Kaplan, a 36-32 winner over St. Martinville. And Iowa, 36. Lake Charles College Prep, 22.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Gina over Bunkie, 38-22. Calvary blanks Dearborn Woods Chartered, 35-0. West Monroe over Ouachita, 31-21. Neville defeats Tioga, 44-13. Ruston over West Ouachita, 48-6. Mangum defeats Faraday, 50-36. General Trask, 43. Vidalia, 14. And Franklin Parish and Carroll tomorrow at 2.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Slidell over Covington, 33-19. North Shore blanks Hammond, 14-0. Kentwood over Slaughter, 47-13. Lakeshore defeats Pearl River, 41-6. St. Thomas Aquinas, 20. North Lake Christian, 8. Pope John Paul 36, Independence 30. St. Paul over Mandeville 21-18. At St. Helena and Springfield, still in progress.
Thanks so much to Skip getting our scores tonight. And if you're looking for a complete scoreboard from Week 8, you can find it on the bottom of the screen, our scrolling score ticker. If you're watching on your view or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, you'll get a complete look at tonight's game's final scores there. Coach Black?
You heard the Franklin Parish Carroll game is being played on Saturday at 2. Does those two teams ring a bell?
Yes, that's
from last year.
When the coaches went up in the stands.
In the stands, and so Carroll insisted on playing them for homecoming, and they wouldn't change it. So they moved it at 2:00 during the day, I guess, so they can have all the police there. I don't know.
And Sterlington, mentioning that, Sterlington Northwestern game was called off in the third quarter with Sterlington up 28-0. Northwestern coach was ejected from, I don't know what all took place yet, but it's a shame. It's week after week.
Yeah, we've had something to report on the unfortunate side week after week, and boy, I hope we can clean things up as we get into the postseason and we don't see any more of that. Let's go ahead and jump back on the hotline, and we are joined by a victorious head coach, David Brewerton. It was our walk-ons game of the week tonight on the campus of Zachary High School as the Broncos were hosting Central, and they get the win 35-28. Coach Brew, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on the come-from-behind win.
Thank you, guys. Man, we certainly appreciate it.
Coach, I think you're going to ban us from coming out there for the first half. That's 2 times in a row in the first half. You didn't play real well. I
wasn't going to bring it up, but you're right.
It's kind of like riding around with Chessa Boucher. You take your risk when she's 1-7 on the ride-arounds, right?
I know. I took a bunch of chances this week. Got in the car with her and let you on the field. It is what it is.
Hey, man. But you're still undefeated. But, Coach, honestly, first half, they controlled the ball 17 to 7 minutes or about there in time of possessions. They converted 7 first downs on third down in 2 consecutive series, I think it was. You just couldn't get any offense. You didn't have any possessions. You had a big play to Tradez Green for 82 yards, and then they go back down and score again. You get a kickoff return from Tyson George. Tyson Kimball makes a big block on that play. You go up and turn the game around a little bit, 14-10, but Central responded. So that's kind of how the first half went, but how did the second half go? It sounded like it was back and forth the whole time.
Yeah, it was, and I was starting to get really nervous because I hadn't seen what number their punter was yet because he hadn't entered the game till the fourth quarter. I've never been so happy to see an opposition punter in my entire life in the fourth quarter. So, they tied up the game. We got the ball back with, I think, 4 minutes and 40 seconds, and got it on like our own, 35, and just had a great drive and didn't throw one pass. We ran it in between the tackles all the way down the field and ended up punching it in with about a minute to go and to go up 7. And then they dropped the ensuing kickoff, which we recovered and kneeled it out. So good win to get. Sometimes you don't play great, but sometimes that has a lot to do with the other team as well. Just really proud of our offensive line taking that whole thing over in the fourth quarter and running the ball the way we did. Our back went for over 200 yards tonight, Cam Thomas, and did the things that we had to do late, got the stops that we had to get late, and come away with a win there. So very proud of our guys.
And this is a game that, I know you don't want to, but it's kind of a game that you need to be in at this point in the season because you haven't been in this type of game in quite a while.
Yeah, no doubt. Our starters haven't seen the fourth quarter in quite some time. I'm very pleased that we got to have that kind of game and get that kind of experience and pushing our bodies physically there towards the end, and that needs to happen. That absolutely needs to happen, and it'll probably happen again in a couple of weeks, and we need to have those kinds of games going into the playoffs without question.
Your defense has been playing very well all year. Tonight, you give up 28, which I believe, if I'm seeing this correctly, is the most all year. What was Central able to do to you that other teams have struggled with?
Yeah, they're pretty large up front. They do a good job with their offensive line and a big tight end that's really athletic, and he creates some matchup problems, but he's also really physical in the line of scrimmage as well. And we just didn't tackle real well tonight, and had some situations on third down where we can get off the field and just didn't do it. Didn't do a great job of that, and I think that was the biggest thing. They're obviously their game plan was to eat clock and move the chains, and that's exactly what they did the entire first half. And we just didn't have a chance to get our offense on the field, and so from a clock standpoint, that was the biggest enemy tonight. And thank goodness we got it one more time there late in the fourth.
So, Coach, with fewer opportunities early on to get your offense on the field, does that make a play like the kickoff return that much more important? That kind of helped you out, getting you those points.
Well, to be honest with you, Kate, it does and it doesn't, because when your defense gives up an 80-yard drive, 6 to 7 minutes comes off the clock, and on the other team scores, and they kick off and you house it. Well, guess what? Your defense is walking right back on the field, and so sometimes that can cause problems. That's what I told the defense at halftime. I said, listen, what you don't understand is you give up a 70-yard drive, even if you get a stop in the red zone, that was a long, taxing drive on your body that's going to hurt you later on in the game. So we got to do a better job of that. When we have third downs and we have opportunities to get off the field, that has to take place.
And you've been good at that throughout the year.
We have.
It wasn't tonight. You mentioned Cam Thomas going over 200 yards. I think one of the strengths of your team this year, and you and I talked about it this week, is your offensive line with Kevion Broussard, Jarek Needy, Freddie McMillan, C.J. Webb, K.D. Domino. Talk about those guys and the job they're doing.
Well, I'm going to tell you, they have been fun to watch all season long, and an ex-O-line guy, I love watching it. I mean, tonight when we were every time we talked about throwing a pass late in the fourth quarter on that final drive, our offensive coordinator, Kenny Langlois, said, why? I mean, we're getting 5 yards a play. No, we're not throwing it. So when you can dominate like that up front down the stretch, it certainly puts a lot of pressure on that defense, and they were able to do that night. Certainly very proud of those guys.
Special teams in tight games always make a
difference.
Look,
and I'll be honest with you, going in, I kind of thought Central may have a little bit of an advantage. You got to remember Zachary's lost their kicker against West Monroe. The new kid has done a phenomenal job. Do I need to add that? I don't know his name, but Coach will be able to tell us that. But they do some gimmick stuff with sky kicks and things like that and try to steal a possession. They didn't. They didn't this night. Central muffed. I saw them muff a kickoff in the first half. They fumbled the one in the second half, and then they give up the kickoff return. So if you look at it like that, to me, Zachary won the special team battle. So that's huge.
Yeah, that was really big for us. They have been generating a lot of points week in and week out with some different kinds of things, with blocked punts, with scoop and scored on fumbles on punts and kickoffs and everything. So something that was a point of emphasis all week long with our guys. Hey, look, make their offense have to drive the football to get points. We can't give them those kinds of things. And awesome tonight to see what our special teams did and get points off a special team kick return, and just kind of won that battle as well tonight.
So far, my name of the year is KT Domino. I just like that name.
Is that beautiful?
You like that?
Yep.
That offensive line averages 274. I know that's Brew's
that's
heart
probably
right
yards
there.
per game.
What's that?
They average 274 pounds, and I think Coach Brew would take it if they rush for 274 a game. Without a
Every
doubt.
week, baby, I'll take it.
You wouldn't take that dinner bill at the buffet, well, would you?
Speaking of dinner bill, we did go to South Plains after the game, pick up a bunch of food out there. It's a great place to go sit out under the oak tree, watch LSU Army tomorrow. Zachary's always a fun place to go to. They had I know you don't get to see it, but Lil Boozy was out in the parking lot barbecuing with Kyle Morris. But we had a good time out there, as always, Coach, and it's a tough win game. But, hey, you come out with the win, and congratulations, man.
Absolutely. We're very excited about it. Thank you guys very much.
It's still all about the Z, huh?
All about the Z.
Not that C tonight. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, guys.
Casey, if you can bring this up, if you've got the picture of that barbecue pit that I sent you, this is the one they refer to as Little Boozy. It was on top of a 5x7 folding table.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that sausage.
And
no, it's one piece of sausage. It's all that fits on.
I think it's kind of maxed out there. They have to put do a lot of rotation of coals and stuff for that pit.
How many burgers have been on that pit?
They fit about 15.
No more than 2 at a time.
No, I'm like 14. Over years, how many's been?
Well, let's put it this way: it's JB welded at the bottom of it. So, okay, do we have our student athlete?
We'll go ahead and put our student athlete of the week. He is from Central. Look, the way I would say this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, from down the bayou, it's Andrew Richard, or is it Richard?
I'm gonna say Richard out in Central.
Yeah, 3.79 GPA and 19 on his ACT. He's returning first team all district center, leader of the offensive unit, and everything a first-year head coach could want in a center, according to Coach David Semino. A leader on offense. He's gritty, he's passionate and knowledgeable, he's tough. Played baseball all 3 years leading up to this year as well.
And they had a key loss to him early in this game. If you go back to the first drive, they have a big run on the first play to the plus 36. Their running back went out. But anyway, a couple plays later, Richard's helmet comes off, and he has to come out of the game. They get a bad snap. It pushes it back to like a 3rd or 2nd 25. They end up missing a 45-yard field goal. So him going out of the game, you could see his value in not only academically but also on the field. We want to thank Brian Moe and Drew Dillio, Mitch Mueller, Byron Gill for our State Farm Student Athletes of the Week. They do a phenomenal job. And also I'm going to congratulate Coach Semino and his staff. I thought they had Anthony Camps, the defensive coordinator, Zach Morris, offensive coordinator. I thought they had a really good game plan tonight. They're going to learn from this. They've had 2 tough games.
Yeah, that's true.
Going in the first 6 weeks of their schedule was not very strong at all.
2 games where they had control in the first half.
Absolutely. And you got to go through some of these games. You got to lose some of these games before you can win some of these games, if that makes sense. So.
Congratulations also to Caden Poyer out at Denham Springs. He committed to Pearl River Junior College.
I saw that. Baseball.
And I think he's now deep snapping, but I'm telling you, he can throw the rock.
They might need him.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back to wrap up hour 1 of the Week 8 edition, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and Your View.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means It's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Coach Brandon Brown, the head football coach and lead director at East St. John High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
East Ascension over Denham Springs, 24-10. Dutchtown over Santa Maria, 31-7. Walker over Live Oak, 41-9. Assumption defeats Lutcher, 14-10. Zachary over Central, 35-28. McKinley defeats Brew, 44-19. Dunham over East Feliciana, 49-22. And Catholic Point defeat 36, St. Edmund, 20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Brother Martin over Rummel, 21-16. Edna Card defeats Holy Cross, 47-17. Central Catholic, a 29-8 winner over Hanson Memorial. Hanville blanks H.L. Bourgeois, 28-0. John Curtis and St. Aug tomorrow at 2:30. Terrebonne defeats East St. John, 21-18. St. Louis Catholic, 21. South Lafourche, 14. St. James, 55. Donaldsonville, 24.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Loreauville defeats Ascension Episcopal 30-9. Carencro over Sam Houston 49-47. Acadiana defeats Southside 45-12. St. Thomas More over Turlings Catholic 35-34. Lafayette Christian defeats Westgate 49-11. Oberlin over Elton 59-16. Kaplan defeats St. Martinville 36-32. And Iowa over St. Lake Charles College Prep 36-22.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Gino over Bunkie 38-22. Calvary defeats Dearborn Woods Charter 35-0. West Monroe over Washita 31-21. Neville over Tioga 44-13. Ruston defeats West Washita 48-6. Mangum over Faraday 50-36. General Trask 43, Vidalia 14. And Franklin Parish and Carroll tomorrow at 2.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Slidell over Covington 33-19. North Shore defeats Hammond 14-0. Kentwood over Slaughter 47-13. Lakeshore defeats Pearl River 41-6. St. Thomas Aquinas over North Lake Christian 20-8. Pope John Paul 36, Independence 30. St. Paul 21, Mandeville 18. And just in, St. Helena 44, Springfield 16.
Thank you, Skip. Coach Todd Black, tell us about our friends at Total Diamond Performance.
Total Diamond Performance, big believers in two-sport athletes. November 27th to December 22nd, they are doing a warm-up for guys that need to try out for baseball, but they're going to get pitching rotation in. They're going to get hitting, work fielding. Matt Mistretta, Matt at tdpbaseball.com, Matt at tdpbaseball.com. Go see him, Total Diamond Performance.
We have one more hour to go. Coming up next here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, in your view.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Hour 2 of the Week 8 edition, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. Our cast of thousands behind the scenes. We got Grant Lanero on audio. We got Casey Gaines on video and Skip Cotrere getting our scores throughout the night. Hey, a special thanks to our friends over at South Plains Food Company out in Zachary. They fed us tonight here in the studio. We had Boudin egg rolls. We had delicious smoked wings. We had some alligator, a blackened alligator, I believe. Spinach dip. Everything's
the best
been money
thing to
from
me
this place.
that I'm about to overdose on in there is that smoked crackling.
Oh, man. Smoked crackling, you're gonna overdose on.
It's crackling, pork belly crackling.
Right.
It's smoked for 4 hours.
It's got a little sweet to it
and
as
then
well.
deep fried. Man,
fantastic.
Yeah, that probably sounded like I was smoking crack.
Well,
But it's good stuff. The crackling was good stuff.
Grant, mark that.
Let's
click
quit
that.
talking
We'll
about
use that for later. Let's go ahead and jump on the phones as Neville gets the win tonight over Tioga, 44-13. And Victoria's head coach of the Tigers, Coach Jeff Tannehill, joins us now. Coach, thanks so much for a couple minutes with us tonight.
Thank y'all for having me on there. Y'all making me hungry.
Well, I was going to ask, you got any place up there that serves cracklings?
Randall's up here. He does some good crackling. He does some really good chicken crackling up here. So, he's our local guy.
Well, Coach, big win tonight, 44-13 over Tioga. Tioga, both of y'all come in actually 6-1. First question I have for you: early in the year, going through the spring, summer, fall, you playing 2 quarterbacks. How's that working out for you now? And what are you doing in that situation?
Well, we're still using 2 quarterbacks. Amon Fuller takes a lot of snaps with John Michael Samponera. He's quick on his feet. He does a lot of good things on the run. So we use him quite a bit too. But Amon Fuller's going to take a lot of the snaps.
Something just came up real quick. I'm jumping away from this year's team and talking about your left and right tackle for the LSU Tigers. How proud are you as a coach of that?
Man, I love those 2 guys. They're great kids, man. I mean, they really are great young men. We've also got another guy, a young man down there, Lane Blue, plays a little linebacker down there. So, we got 3 guys. When I get a chance to go down there, I really enjoy visiting with them because I don't see them very often. But man, they're starting off great, and I just can't wait to see how great they are in the future.
He's got one playing for the Turpin kids with Dallas Cowboys now,
Yep.
I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've got 6 in the NFL right now, and we're just proud of those guys.
Tell them to write a check, get you a new building or whatever you need.
Oh, they just got a new press box.
Yeah, Todd said that new press box is nice, Todd. You need to come home and
I heard there's an elevator.
Run through there. Well, the elevator will be in December.
Okay.
Well, look, man, talk a little bit about this year's team. You only lost, I know this makes you – it came to Ruston, but that's the way it comes down to those games. It was a game that you really played well in, but you learned a lot from that game. And talk a little bit about the team offensively and defensively.
Well, I think you're talking about the Ruston game. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, I was just saying you probably learned a lot from that game, and it's kind of carried over and so forth.
Well, I would say this: that was a typical Neville Ruston game, Todd, and you know all about that. I mean, it was a hard knocker the whole game, and we really played well, and we just came up a little short there at the end. They scored with about a minute left to take the lead, and we really couldn't get anything going in the second half offensively. But our defense was playing so well; it kept us right where we needed to be, and we just couldn't afford any mess ups. So we had a few there at the end, and just lost that game. But we really played well the last couple of weeks on offense. Really made it a point of emphasis to get better and better each week. We've simplified the game plan a little bit, and we're playing faster and doing a lot of things really good right now. Tonight was probably one of the best nights we've had in a couple 8 weeks.
Todd, you mentioned Tioga's schedule coming in, not being the strongest. You look at Neville, and I think this plays a difference. Neville's played Evangel, Washita, Ruston. They prepared for games against quality teams. And you go back over their district opponents in the last year, they outscored their opponents 202-35. And since 2020, they've outscored their opponents 630-7 in district play. So
7 or 70?
70.
All right, I was about to say 7. Dead gone.
70. Coach, I'm looking at going through some things this week, kind of preparing ourselves for this game. I think you have about 19 guys back with some starting experience, maybe not full time, but is this a junior-based team still? I'm looking at Jalen Nichols. He's a junior. Jakeem, he's a sophomore. You got Brody Watley up front on the defensive line. He's getting some offers. He's a junior. Cameron Riley, defensive back. He's a junior. When you start looking, I started seeing a lot of juniors. Is this junior-based?
It is. We've got a really good senior class, but, there's, solid starters all the time. About 6 or 7 of them are solid starters, and then the rest are juniors and sophomores. And those two classes, the junior class and sophomore class, have some really good athletes in it. And, it really is just fun to watch them as they've grown from last year to this year, and it'll be really fun to watch them grow next year.
You talk about the two big, or Todd mentioned the two big offensive linemen at LSU. Huge guys, physical, future All-Americans, future NFL players. But this team seems to be built more around speed than size.
It is. This is one of our faster teams we've had in a while. We've got speed offensively. There's about 7 guys that will run in and out of different personnel groupings, and use them in different spots, different things. And then defensively, our secondary flies to the ball, man. And our defensive line is not really big, but they're strong, physical, and really fast. So it's the makings of a really good group. We just got to put it all together and get to where we're doing it consistently week in and week out.
Jeff, sometimes, and I know that Jimmy and I kind of battled it at times, is when you have a lot of playmakers on offense, making sure that they're all getting their share of touches. Does that come in? Y'all have to specifically game plan to make that happen?
We do sometimes. Really and truly, the way we've built our offense with this group, it allows 2 or 3 guys. We've added the option to our offense, so it's helped us get the ball to our tailbacks and some other guys, in the quick game that probably wouldn't have touched it, last year before last. But, I feel like Coach Birch has done a really good job of making that thing happen the way he does. And tonight we had probably 5 receivers catch a ball, tight end caught a screen and another pass. Both tailbacks probably, I think they scored 2 or 3 touchdowns. So, we did a really fine job tonight of getting the ball in different hands and still try to, we don't necessarily try to keep everybody happy, but we're trying to keep the ball in different people's hands so they can't just, look at their tailback or a quarterback or a one wide receiver. So, I think we've done a really fine job of that, getting that squared away.
So you say you've added the option to your offense, or how are you getting into that? Because Neville has been a shotgun team. They're not like a West Monroe, Washita, or Ruston that's lining up in that eye and running the veer. Or are you doing it in 10 and 11 personnel with one back, or are you running speed option, load option? What type of option are you running?
Well, we're in the gun with it. We're just running inside zone, and then we run speed option, and we run midline out of the shotgun, And so just using a lot of zone. Honestly, it's a lot like being under center, but we're in the shotgun. We moved a little closer when we go option to the center, and it allows us to run that inside run game a whole lot easier, and then still be able to pull it off the end and pitch it out there to one of our fast guys.
You got 47 Schwab up in there?
It's close. It's close. It's close. When we go Tiger Train, it's 2 tights, 2 sniffers, and we're running right or running left with 4 guys pulling. Yes, so we have Schwab. We just don't call it Schwab.
That's pretty good. 4 guys pulling, 2 sniffers, and y'all are rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Well, Coach
everybody but the backside tight end.
There you go. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on tonight, and congratulations. And y'all finish up next week because Neville traditionally has Week 10 open, right?
Yeah, we go to Franklin Parish, and Week 10 we're open.
Well, congratulations, Coach, and good luck the rest of the way.
Hopefully you got a game. Hopefully you got a game, and something crazy don't happen over on Redwick tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so.
Have a good one.
Right.
Yeah, too. Thank you.
Right. A couple other games up there. The Arbonne Woods and Calvary. There were 2 games in the state where undefeated teams were playing each other. The Arbonne Woods was 6-0, going to Calvary at 7-0. Calvary wins that one 35-0. There's been a lot of talk of an interview up there with Jake Martin, I think it was, and those guys. Coach Tommy Tharp for the Arbonne Woods accused schools like Calvary, John Curtis, Evangeline, things of cheating. He said somebody, I think he was asked along the lines, how do you get to that level? And he said, you just got to cheat. And he said he wasn't going to do it. I think that one, Calvary probably took wind of that. And
so I listened to that interview, and he kind of said it with a little bit of joking manner. But here's his thing. He said, Calvary, and the Calvary coach even said, look, we can pull from 250,000 people. All right. Darbonne Charter can only pull from X amount. But the problem goes a little bit further than that, is what this coach from Arbonne Woods don't understand is that, all right, so you've got an advantage over traditional school zone. So where does that place you? And it's not as simple as people always think. It's just, I think what they've done now is as fair as it's going to be, with the situation as it is.
And then you talked about scheduling. The Arbonne Woods to beat Lakeview, Beacom Charter, Montgomery, Lakeside, teams like that, while Calvary was over there playing Captain Shreve Bird, Walsman, Westgate. So they've played a very tough schedule. You talk about Walsman, that's another one, Todd. They moved to 7-1 tonight up north. They get a 31-0 win over Bastrop. That's their 5th shutout through 8 games. They're giving up 7 points a game going into tonight. They held Calvary to their lowest output of the season, which was 21-6 game, I believe. So their defense must be for real.
Speaking of undefeated, Gina getting a win over Bunkie.
Yeah,
tonight?
We tried to reach out to Coach Rourke, and somehow our numbers got crossed up, but they are a 38-22 winner. Zarek Jones, he's a 2-time district MVP, had 1,600 yards last year. He's over 1,100 this year, over 20 touchdowns. They return most of their defense, their linebackers. It's going to be, if they finish taking care of their business, it'll be their 4th straight district championship. I think they're another veer-heavy team also.
Lots of great football up in North Louisiana tonight, and following some of those close games, as we mentioned, West Monroe getting a win over Watchdog by 10, 31-21.
We talk about West Monroe. Here they are sitting now 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zachary blew them out, 48-7, I think. Yeah, 48-7. But it's a quiet 7-1. You're not hearing much about it. The negative with West Monroe is 4 of their wins, not counting Ouachita tonight, which is 2-6 now. I think they are. Their wins have come against EA, which got their second win tonight, Scotlandville, which hasn't got a win, Delhi, Charter, and Pineville. Those teams have a combined record of 6-22. They finished with Ash week 9 and Ruston week 10. So we'll learn a little bit more about West Monroe the next 2 weeks.
Hats off to Coach Davis, gathering those guys, getting them out of what happened at the beginning of the year and kind of getting things organized and maintaining the football team, not only just maintaining it, but thriving past all the BS that happened at the early beginning and the unfortunate stuff that happened.
Put in a tough spot, and he's handling it well.
We'll take a time out. We'll be right back. More scores coming your way when we return. This is the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one
Back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
East Ascension over Denham Springs, 24-10. Dutchtown over Santa Paul, 31-7. Walker defeats Live Oak, 41-9. Assumption over Lutcher, 14-10. Zachary defeats Central, 35-28. McKinley over Brew, 44-19. Dunham over East Feliciana, 49-22. And Catholic Point Depew, 36. St. Edmund, 20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Brother Martin defeats Rummel 21-16. Edna Carr 47, Holy Cross 17. Central Catholic defeats Hanson Memorial 29-8. Hanville blanks H.L. Bourgeois 28-0. John Curtis and St. Aug tomorrow at 2:30. Terrebonne over East St. John 21-18. St. Louis defeats South Lafourche 21-14. And St. James 55, Donaldsonville 24.
Thank you, Skip, getting our scores tonight. And if you're looking for a full scoreboard, tune in to Your View right now or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. There's a ticker on the bottom of the screen, and that gives you a complete scoreboard from all around the state. All finals are there, and all precincts have been reported, if you will. Let's go down to Bahia, if you will. Terrebonne Parish, Terrebonne High School, again to win tonight over East St. John, 21-18. And the head coach of the Tigers, Coach Tyler Lewis, joins us. Coach, thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes with us. A real good win over East St. John tonight.
No problem. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Jimmy, the tree from St. James just gets a little bit bigger.
I was just fixing to say, Coach Robert Valdez and Levante Davis is probably almost as proud of Tyler Lewis as he is himself right now. That's some good guys you learned under, right, Coach?
Yeah, man. Those guys are mentors of mine, and they coached me as a player, and I had the privilege of coaching along with them the previous seasons while Coach Valdez was at St. James as the head guy.
Well, Coach, I think one of the most impressive things about this win is coming off of a tough game last week. You were able to get your boys to forget about it, get refocused, and play a very good team tonight, and you came out on top 21-18.
Oh, yeah. We knew we made a lot of mistakes on last week, and Destrehan capitalized off of those mistakes. We had a couple of turnovers, some bad points. They scored 28 points off of our mistakes. So our guys, we took our lick and we got back to the drawing boards. We had a great week and went down to a tough environment and got the victory.
Coach, I was sitting there looking through some stats this week, and let's say East St. John's a phenomenal team. They come in averaging 44 a game. In all your games that you had won, you had scored 40 or more, and then in the two games that you lost, obviously you scored 7 in each one of those. What was your message coming in after the game against Destrehan to play an East St. John team that you know can be so dangerous on offense? You have a good night and hold them to 18.
Yes. The biggest thing about it is, we identify the score, why the score was the way it was versus Destrehan. Our mistakes, our kids know that Destrehan is a test to see where we at, where's the capability of this team. And they know that, So, going into an environment like East St. John, they're undefeated at this point. There's a lot of things at stake. Our kids handle that game well. They handle that environment well. They're just focused. Their main focus is being 1-0 each week and just keeping it all about Terrebonne.
Coach, East St. John featured. They're the only team in the state that have two wide receivers in the leading into the state in receiving yardage. They're in the top 10 in Coryell Gray and Dekai Joseph. But you have two really good ones yourself. In Colin, I think it's Ballette, who's a 6'4", 186 commit to LSU. And then you got another long receiver. When I say long, tall, long arms that can go and get the ball, and Quincy McKay.
Yes. Those guys are big for us. Colin Billiard, is LSU commit, so he's going to draw a lot of attention. Also Quincy, he knows that spotlight is on him because of the attention that Colin gets, man. So I'm excited for them kids, man. Our secondary did a heck of a job tonight, man. We held them to 0 points in the air. We actually took the ball out of the air a few times as well. So we had a great game plan today. It was executed by those guys.
So this is your second year as head coach, period, right?
Yes, this is my second year.
What's been your biggest challenge as a head coach opposed to a position coach or a coordinator?
Well, you put everything on your shoulders. You're accountable for everything. That's the hardest part about it. The second hardest part about the job is making everybody believe, getting the culture change, and having everybody on one accord. So, it's starting to take the turn for us. With the community, with the school. So this win right here actually helps solidify a lot of the things we do. So it was major for just the program alone.
Jimmy, winning solves a lot of problems.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Coach, you mentioned that secondary. That's an all-senior secondary, if I'm not mistaken. But you go to the other side of the ball, your offensive line, you're only playing one senior. How's your offensive line developing? Here we are going after 8 weeks into the season being that young.
The crazy part about it is that one senior actually was out tonight with a shoulder injury. So we had all young pups on the offensive line tonight. I have a lot of faith in those guys. Those young guys are led by Orion Mosley, who's a 6'4", 295 left tackle for us, man, and he's getting heavily recruited right now. And we have Chris Stewart, the left guard, right next to him, who's a 6'3", 290 guy as well. So those young pups are really getting the experience and really turning the corner late in the season, which is big for us.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here on the show tonight. We hope wish you the best of luck as you continue into Week 9 and to Week 10, and hope we can connect here a little bit later on this season.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate you guys, man, and y'all have a great night.
Thank you, Coach.
We're proud of you, man. Good job.
I met Coach at the social at the coaches clinic. Good guy.
31 years old. Is that what I think I looked at an article? So he's 31.
He started coaching at 19.
Well, and he handles himself real well, and surely, a big part of coaching and getting kids to believe is to be able to communicate. And he seems like he does a really good job with that, and he knows what he wants to do. And getting the coaching staff to believe.
You asked him the question about what was his biggest adjustment being a head coach, and I'd read an article today about him, and he had mentioned same thing everybody does, having to worry about everything. You had to worry. If you're a position coach, you coached your position. You didn't have to worry about everything. If you were the coordinator, offense coordinator, you didn't worry about the defense. That wasn't your job or responsibility. Now he's got it all under his belt and having to worry about, have a pulse on everything.
You have to kind of fix everything. If the water's not there, you get the water. If the dummy's not there, you get the dummy.
Scheduling officials, scheduling concession workers, scheduling change. I mean, it's a job.
Wait, when you said dummy, you nodded towards Jimmy. So is that what you're talking about?
He's learning some of that stuff.
Yeah, I am, and that's kind of
It's interesting in a parish where you've got two 5A schools, in H.L. Bourgeois, Terrebonne. You got Thibodaux and Lafourche and South Lafourche and Central Lafourche. But when you get a guy like Mason Smith who has the accolades behind him and gets the LSU, you mentioned the offensive lineman out there at Neville. When you get attention from somebody like that and you get a big recruit, then sometimes that leads to a spark that maybe there's that young man that wasn't sure if they were going to come out for the team. Maybe your numbers get a little better. The excitement gets a little bit better. And we've seen the last couple of years, Terrebonne being, trying to make themselves a force again.
They had a kid, I think his name was Jalen Lucas. If I'm not mistaken, I saw him play last week for Indiana maybe, who was a speedster down there. They have the Billette kid who's committed to LSU. He's 6'4", wide receiver. So they're starting to put out some good players at Terrebonne.
Hey, shout out to Carl the Cat in the live chat on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Randall is in there as well. We appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. And
West Side won.
They did.
Yeah, 54-51 over Southside. Well, look, let's talk a little bit about
was Southside previously undefeated?
Probably so.
You want to go out to the Bayou area and stay in there?
Well, yeah, let's just stay in New Orleans. Carr moves to 7-0, 47-17 win over Holy Cross. Holy Cross had been playing well going into last week against Brother Martin. They were undefeated, but Carr just continues to shut people down. They had struggled a little bit going in these last few weeks. They were averaging 34.5, but they were only averaging 27 in the Catholic League, and 35 of those came late. So that's a good win. Brother Martin continues to win. They got to be winning ugly. I mean, it's 21-16, but you'll take it, don't matter how it is in that Catholic League because it's so tough. Brother Martin's only averaging 19 points a game. Their two losses were to St. Thomas More and Carr, so they moved to 6-2. Number-wise, it's not pretty, but the result-wise is really good. Another thing, Jaden Martin, the running back from Rummel, he had an injury last week, and I don't know what his status was for tonight, if he played or not. And St. Paul's takes complete control of the North Shore District with a 21-18 win over Mandeville. Give St. Paul some trouble, but they're only allowing 9.7 a game. They're another team that's winning ugly, and they've given up 68 points on the year. 6 of those come on interception, and 6 of them come on a block punt, so they're playing really good defense over there.
St. James got the win over Donaldsonville, and I know a lot of us have been looking forward to that November 3rd matchup with Edie White coming up in a couple of weeks.
Week 10, St. James.
I just think Edie White's too tough.
Strong on defense, too.
They are.
Yeah.
They've been on, this is the 3rd year in a row. I think they've just been solid.
They've been forced because they've been to 1 finals and 2 semifinals in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Don't sleep on John Kennedy out in New Orleans. They had a great defense last year. They've got another good defense this year. And as you say, K defense does what?
Travel.
It's travel. And you mentioned JFK. They lead the state in 5.5 points a game. Lutcher was tied with them. They get upset tonight by Assumption, I think 14-10.
That's surprising.
That's a shock.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking. Coach Jenkins was it last week, and look, it goes to show you sometimes there's certain teams that are up to the challenge, and anything can happen week to week. But it still surprised me a little bit. We'll have more conversations when we get back, looking at the North Shore area and also giving out our helmet stickers for Week 8 here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and Your View.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of Front to Back Boat Service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Don't have time for a trampoline injury?
We don't have time for this today.
We're here with online check-in so you can wait from anywhere. Plus, on-site digital x-rays. If you don't have time to be hurt, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Covering prep football from West Monroe to West Side. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Acadiana Scoreboard. Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Lorville over Ascension Episcopal 30-9. Karen Crow defeats Sam Houston 49-47. Acadiana over Southside 45-12. St. Thomas More defeats Turlings Catholic 35-34. Lafayette Christian over Westgate 49-11. Oberlin defeats Elton 59-16. Kaplan over St. Martinville 36-32. And Iowa 36. Lake Charles College Prep 22.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Gina defeats Bunkie 38-22. Calvary blanks Yarmouth Woods Charter 35-0. West Monroe over Westjaw 31-21. Neville 44. Tioga 13. Ruston over West Westjaw 48-6. Mangum defeats Faraday 50-36. General Trask 43. Vidalia 14. Franklin Parish and Carroll tomorrow at 2.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Slidell over Covington 33-19. North Shore over Hammond 14-0. Kentwood over Slaughter 47-13. Lakeshore defeats Pearl River 41-6. St. Thomas Aquinas 20. North Lake Christian 8. Pope John Paul 36. Independence 30. St. Paul defeats Mandeville 21-18. St. Helena 44, Springfield 16.
Thanks so much, Skip, getting our scores tonight. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy here as we are in Week 8 of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. And looking at the Acadiana area tonight, Jimmy, the scores that stood out: Karen Crow, kind of in a back-and-forth game over Sam Houston, 49-47. If you're Sam Houston, you're going to be disappointed you lost this game, but you can't be down on yourself considering you played one of the best quarterbacks in the state, one of the best teams in the state, an undefeated team. And, I mean, they held their own tonight. Acadiana bounces back big over Southside. And St. Thomas More by 1 over Turlings.
Well, Sam Houston carrying Crow, 49-47. I think what Coach Davis has to focus on, their losses now, they are 6-2. Their losses are to Acadiana and to Cairn Crow. Nothing.
What was the score against Acadiana?
I don't remember.
Was it a big difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said it wasn't one of their better games played.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I think what he's got to look at is the path of his program, and it's on the upward trend. So that's a good thing. Yeah, we mentioned Chance Babineau, the sophomore quarterback. I think that was in the radio segment earlier. He's a sophomore. He sets the single-season Cairn Crow receiving record last year as a freshman with 972 yards. He sets the single-season passing record this year as a sophomore. And going by this score, I think it would be safe to say he set the single-season touchdown passing record, which was 25 going into the game, and he had 24. He had thrown 24 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions on the year. Acadiana, the Southside, really surprised me. Southside won 22-7 last year. Acadiana got shut out last week, even though they were leading the state, and they had fumbled 5 center snaps between the center and the quarterback last week. For them to bounce back against a really good Southside team, I know Coach McCullough will be proud of that one. Lafayette Christian beating Westgate, not surprising, but 49-11. That's a pretty good, comfortable margin. But like we said, Westgate's playing without Jabari Antoine. He got injured against Calvary 3 weeks ago, and since he's been out, they've scored 14, 19, and now 11, and their schedule doesn't get any easier. St. Thomas More Turling. St. Thomas More stays undefeated, 35-14 win. First time they led the whole game, I think, was at the finals at the end, and it came with 1 minute left in the game. They get a win. St. Thomas More finishes their schedule with that tough. That's a tough 4A district. I think it's the toughest in the state by far. They started with tonight, then they have Westgate next week in that LCA game, Week 10, that we're looking for. Cecilia, Coach Gaines, congratulations to his guys. Diesel Solori, he's a fascinating quarterback, tore his ACL last year. He comes back. He's returning kicks now. He's returning punts. He gets the game-sealing interception. That's 2 really good teams in 4A. I think you have to put Cecilia with a chance to win the 4A state championship. Their only loss was the Southside, 49-46. 4A's wide open, no undefeated teams. I think they have a really good shot at it. And then small school ball over there, Lowerville over Ascension Catholic, 30-9. Coach Terry Martin, we coached against him when he was at Cecilia when we played at Central. He always does a really good job. He's going to run a 2-back set. He's going to run his counter. He's going to run his power. And their losses this year are to Vermilion Catholic and Welsh, so they're having a good year as they move to 6-2. That'll probably wrap up the district for them also.
On the North Shore side, one quick congratulations to St. Helena. They get the win over Springfield tonight. That school has certainly gone through a heck of a lot, getting a win tonight over Springfield 44-16 and continuing to follow 5A ball in the North Shore. It seems like St. Paul is the latest to step up as they get the win over Mandeville 21-18, seeming like they're in a pretty good spot.
Coach Sears has been there
a
long time. I think he's been to school 30-something
say,
years, and he's been a
plus.
head coach 20-something. They're not winning pretty. They don't put up many points, but hey.
He was on the previous staff before he became head coach, right?
It all counts the same. A win's a win, so you take them any way you can. We got to mention Warren Easton. They've been through so much this year, and they keep bringing it on themselves, honestly. Warren Easton, they forfeit to Madison Prep last night. Last week against Douglas, they have a fight in the third quarter. The game's canceled. They were made to forfeit this week. So far this year, they've been banned from the playoffs for illegal recruiting. They forfeited wins against Ruston and Catholic due to ineligible players, and now they're forfeiting due to the fight. One thing you got to worry about, Todd, they'll play anybody anywhere, but you got to look at with what they're going through. year after year now, basically, our team's going to keep scheduling it. And also, the players who are doing the right things, are they going to keep going there?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about or what to think about that situation.
Well, what do you mean year after year? I mean, this is the first year
they haven't had issues in the past? You sure?
Not that I recall.
I thought they had some forfeits before.
I know a lot of schools down there have. I don't know that he has.
I don't know. We'll have to
like
check on that.
Outside of this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember any.
I thought they had some. But, we like Jerry Phillips. Good guy, good coach. For the most part, I think, we talked about it when they came and played Cali. Very well behaved, no taunting, no unsportsmanlike, no trash talk, no nothing. And I didn't see the film. I didn't know anything about it until last night. About 5 o'clock is when I found out about it. So, it don't seem like a Jerry Phillips coach team, but it must have been something to it for the LHSA to step in and make them forfeit.
That is a wrap on the regions for Week 8 here in Prep football. When we get back, a pretty cool video we'll share with you, as well as getting our helmet stickers for this week in the books. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. We're on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, in your view.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor, so you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast? All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly...
This is Coach Brett Beard from Denham Springs High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Thanks again to our friends over at South Plains Food Company feeding us tonight, man. Delicious food. If you're out and about in that area, it is a great spot to be for LSU and Army tomorrow, any of the college games tomorrow. They've got that open air section. You can sit back, have a nice beverage, try some of these appetizers we've been munching on. I've heard they got delicious desserts because the last time we had them in studio, there was quite a discussion on who got to take home the giant saucer chocolate chip cookies. So, I mean, everything you can think of, the seafood dishes, like there was a shrimp that was on skewers last time, kind of blackened. And this go around, we had some alligator bites. They had Buddha egg rolls, spinach dip. Everything's been fantastic from there. So stop by South Plains Food Company, right across from the baseball field, right?
Yep. Cannot miss it.
So let's go ahead and get started with tonight's helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Jimmy Roy, I'll start with you.
Oh, you're not starting?
I'll start. I'll give mine to Cameron Thomas over there at Zachary. I think you start playing well and you run the ball well, which I know Coach Brew would like to continue to do and like to do better. But there was a couple of runs I saw in the first half. They were only down by 2 at the time we left and wound up coming from behind. So I'll give mine to Cameron Thomas.
I'm giving a bunch of them tonight.
Okay.
First, we got to give it to Kyle Morris and Lil Boozy.
Let's pull up the barbecue.
Because you said you were.
Yeah,
you told the man you were, so you didn't do that. So I'm gonna call out Kyle on that. Up at Zachary, always a good time. Appreciate their hospitality and a great game. Then I got to give one to Todd.
Mm-hmm.
He got Brock a haircut.
Wow.
For the first time in I don't know how long.
Looks sharp.
How long, Todd?
It's been that long since he was 7, I think. Now he's 14.
He's styling now.
Yeah.
What did you call it? A drip? He's got the drip. Is that?
No,
that's not what it's called.
I think you got to go late mullet. Yeah.
So, but Brock, I got to give it to Brock, and then Todd also sends me a picture with him and my grandson. Probably his first high school game, maybe a second to go to down there. And then on the serious note, though, Nelson Stewart, head coach at Newman. They moved to 7-0 with a 35-0 win over Country Day. That was Coach Nelson Stewart's 150th win.
And it's probably the most quiet win of milestone because you don't have the Mannings and the cameras and everything going on this year, but they continue to play well. He continues to coach well, and they're probably a lot more relaxed, I would think, this year.
I agree.
This sticker is going to a team that has rushed the ball 935 times. I mean, for 935 yards. Their opponents -7. Their total yards are 1,577 yards, 132 their opponents. And then they've outscored their opponents 230-8. The helmet sticker goes to Sam Houston Jr. High and Coach Lance Seffens.
I was wondering, like, who is he talking? I'm sitting here trying to think. That's not even in Louisiana,
but it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's in middle school. I think it's Sam Houston Junior High. That's why I started looking. I'm like, but pretty good.
Coach, this video is almost uploaded. If you can set the scene for us, I'm hoping we get this in there.
This is a rare play that can take place at the end of a game. If you're down by 2 points, the other team punts, and you wave for a fair catch, you're going to get a free kick. And that free kick is of any form or fashion, and this particular team in South Carolina used a tee. So if they kick it through the field uprights, it's 3 points, and they win the game. And if it'll upload, it'll show that it was 30-28. The kid kicks it and ends up winning 31-30.
I wonder how many teams practice this. I know Eric Hill used to talk about it all the time, so I know his
right,
special
Casey,
teams
let me see
were.
if you can
But I wonder how many teams actually practice that situation.
I tried to explain it the other day just to.
They kind of look at you like you're stupid.
Right. So it's not pulling up, but anyway.
Maybe so.
Go to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on Facebook. I'll put it there.
Yeah, it's a really interesting play, and not to have seen it before. It looks like something somebody drew up in a video game or something like that. You're watching like the Harlem Globetrotters put something together, but it's quite interesting. Apologies, Coach, but we'll get that up on the Facebook page. So
there's bizarre rules everywhere. You just don't know them until they happen.
Well, we look forward to another great week of high school football next week. Week 9 is coming up, and we will be right here with all your scores, stats, and finals, and head coaches as well. So thanks so much for Coach Todd Black, for Coach Jimmy Roy, for Grant Linario, Casey, and Skip. We will see you next Friday night. I'm Cade Wazan. This has been Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN.
Running Board's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Board's marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.